Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl, and today I'm going to share with you some spooky fall new releases for 2025. This is a new series I have been doing. I have my most anticipated releases videos that I will link down below. These are books that I am personally really excited about that are coming out this year or have already come out. Then this summer, I did a mermaid book new release video as well as a retelling new release video. So I thought it would be nice to compile one for fall and Halloween time as well. Because this is a broader category, this is a huge video. So grab a cup of coffee, a snack, a notebook or a laptop, get ready to build your TBR. Most of these books are already out. For the ones that are not out, I will put the release date right here for you. I have a whole bunch of categories to get into. Because I have such a huge list, I'm not going to go very heavy into the descriptions or the synopsis for most of these. We're just going to kind of try to get through them and give you the general vibes. But first we're going to start off with what I call the fall goodness category. These are considered like fall contemporary, like cozy reads. So we have Let's Give 'Em Pumpkin to Talk About by Isabella Pop. I'm actually currently reading this one. So the gist is we have like a grumpy sunshine trope. Our main character has come back home to Pea Blossom, Indiana to help run her father's like pumpkin orchard for the town festival and fair, and also just for his business. And when she gets there, the pumpkins have been destroyed by a group of wild hogs that the neighbor was responsible for watching. And so I believe he's going to help her like regrow the pumpkins or watch over them or something like that, or they're going to be like battling the entire time. Just like a cute little cozy romance. It might be spicy, I'm not sure, but this is an adult standalone. Next we have Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. This is a YA standalone. It's said to have like a Gilmore Girls vibe to it. So we have our main character who's stuck in this small quaint town who must face an old flame while the town prepares for their autumn festival. We have Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice by Katie Kikatelli Cook. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And again, we have a Gilmore Girls style read. We're set in a quaint and charming village in New England, and then it becomes very touristy and people come from all over to see the bubbling creeks and the quaint town. And we're following our main character Lucy, who is 16 and she's never been into pumpkin spice or all the fall like basic girl things. And she works at a cute little quaint coffee shop until one day a chain coffee shop opens up across the street, and I'm assuming there'll be a cute boy over there and they'll have to compete. This is a young adult standalone, and I will let you guys know, I don't know if it's still going to be out, but this is the Barnes & Noble Cafe pick. So every year I think around this time they pick a paperback to sell for $5 if you buy a drink in the Barnes & Noble Cafe, and this is this year's pick, and it has sprayed edges. This read looks so cute. Next we have Kindling by Bonnie Woods. This is the first in the Scottish Spice series. When City Girl Harper arrives in the Caledonian Forest in Scotland, her hopes for her holiday are quickly dashed. She's planned a whimsical autumnal writing retreat to finish her novel, but she is ghosted by her scammer rental host. She discovers that the cozy log cabin she booked for her solo getaway does not really exist. Miles away from any hotel, she wanders through the woods until she finds the hot local woodcutter Fraser. So looks very fun. There's Pumpkin About You by Athena Carstairs. Given the chance to plan her bestie's 30th birthday bash, Wren is determined to create an experience so big and bold that the name of the party planning business spreads beyond the confines of her small town. The key to her plan is the Finch family's gold leaf pumpkin farm. It's not just the perfect venue, but also the perfect supply for her autumnal themed bash. But there is like a grumpy pumpkin farmer on there as well. All right, next going the completely opposite direction, we have some thrillers. There are a lot of thrillers that came out this year. These are the ones that caught my eye and that I thought might be in particularly good for fall. I have no idea how intense they are, how scary they are. If I'm familiar with the author, I will let you know. We're gonna dive right in. We're also gonna put some mysteries in this category. We have The Thorns by Dawn Katurgic. I have read several books from this author. Fairly scary, spooky, dark, sometimes depressing, but because her writing is so freaking phenomenal and engaging, and a lot of her books have mixed media where there is, the audiobooks will have double narrators and like sound effects, or the physical book will have pictures or different things inside of it. I just find her books so interesting, even if they kind of creep me out. Stacy is the dusty air, the cracked soil, the drought. To 13-year-old Bethany Sloan, she is everything. Abandoned by her mother at a remote African boarding school, Bethany will do anything to stay in Stacy's good graces, and that means learning the rules of each twisted game. Years later, Bethany is a best-selling author, disabled. Now she can't remember what happened back in the bush. No mistaking Stacy Preston's name in her inbox. So it seems like we have kind of a toxic female friendship relationship that I'm sure will be very twisty and turny. We have Salem's Fall by Rec Talk Ross. I have the honor of being on Rec Talk Ross's street team almost every year. I have a friend and we like to buddy read her books. They are like cheesy, fun, spooky goodness. This book ends her like seasonal series books. She had Ski Weekend that was in winter. She had Spring Harvest that was like vampires at Coachella. She had Summer Rental, which was like a spooky summer survival thriller. And then this is Salem's Fall, which is like a billionaire dark romance. So we have our main character James, and she is a lawyer. She's part of the team that takes on this billionaire's murder case. They think that he murdered his girlfriend and she is trying to defend him. He's huge in this town. There's like this spooky house connected to it, and then there's some things in her past that we're also uncovering. I will say it's on the cheesier side. Think like a Hallmark movie, but dark and spooky. It has a lot of fall vibes. I enjoyed this one. We have Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I read one book from Samantha Downing last year and I think I liked it enough that I want to try another one. So this one is about a retired serial killer whose quiet life is upended by an unexpected visitor. To protect her secrets, there's only one option left. What's one more murder? So she's like a senior citizen now and she has to decide whether she wants to kill this person to continue living in peace. A mystery, we have Bad in the Blood. In a world where magical beings, Fae, are mistrusted and often institutionalized, a human brother, Fae sister must team up to solve a bizarre murder in this 1920s inspired queer teen fantasy novel. Wasn't sure where else to put this one, so it landed here. We have October Film Haunt by Michael Wehunt. So we're following Jen Jory, and 10 years ago she was part of this like fan club for these popular horror cult films, and she would like camp out on the movie sets and then they would write articles and blogs about the movies. On one of the sets, something weird unravels. We fast forward to the future. She winds up getting a video in her mail that makes her think that she is now being filmed and she might be accidentally a part of a horror movie. 6:40 to Montreal by Eva Jerzik. We're following Agatha, who is trying to get some work done on a 6-hour train ride from Toronto to Montreal, but then the train breaks down and they get stuck in the Canadian woods, and then someone dies and things start to unravel. The Executioners 3 by Susan Dennard. This is more of a mystery. I wasn't exactly sure where to put this one. So Freddie didn't mean to get half the rival high school arrested. She simply heard shrieks coming from the woods, so she called the cops like a good human would do. How was she supposed to know that the kids weren't just partying? I really like Susan's writing style. Next category is monsters. We have My Fair Monster by Adrienne Riviera. This is a young adult standalone. We're following reigning Miss Teen Indiana, Corey, who has looks and charm and uses her family's formal wear boutique sponsorship, but she really wants to become a horror movie scream queen. When a regional horror host announced a monster costume contest where first place gets a guest appearance on the show featuring the winner's choice movie and a cash prize, she knows she's found the perfect competition. But I think some of the monsters wind up being real. I'm not sure, I could be making that up. A Mastery of Monsters. This is book 1 in a series. I believe it's young adult by Lizelle Sunbury. When August's brother disappears before his sophomore semester, everyone thinks the stress of college got to him. But August knows her brother would never have left voluntarily, especially not after their mother so recently went missing. The only clue left behind is a note to stay safe and protect their remaining family. We have Make Me a Monster by Kaylin Bayron, who I have read before and I really enjoyed. I know this is a Frankenstein retelling. It's like gonna be dark and gothic and maybe modern, I'm not sure, but it looks amazing. Season of Fear by Emily Cooper. So this has got like a village, something lurking in the woods, everybody stay away from the woods kind of vibe to it. The Resurrectionist by Kathleen S. Allen. So this again is kind of like a Frankenstein retelling, gothic Victorian vibes. Our main character finds her father's secret journal about how to resurrect dead bodies. Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. This is the second in, I believe, the duology, which is a kind of continuation of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I read the first one last year. I really enjoyed it. I feel like she captured the essence of Nightmare Before Christmas and Sally like really well, so I'm very curious about how this one's gonna go. Next we have Dark Academia, and this is probably the largest category. There are so many dark academia books coming out. The Devil Ambition by Lindsay Miller. There's only one school worth graduating from and it creates as many magicians as it does graves. So I love Lindsay Miller's writing. The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Kaw. The Hellebore Technical Institute for the Gifted is the premier academy for the Dangerously, the Antichrists, and the Ragnaroks, the World Eaters, and the Apocalypse Makers. Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. One of the ones I was most excited for. This is the Souls of Blackwood Academy. 6 students at Blackwood Academy, an enigmatic boarding school located at the edge of the afterlife, must compete for their once-in-an-eternity chance to change their fate or risk remaining stuck in purgatory forever. Sounds so good. A Beautiful Terrible Murder by Claire M. Andrews. In Oxford's All Souls College, Isaac Holland is pitted against the brightest of Britain's young elite for a seat amongst the prestigious school's faculty. The Victorian era is reaching its apex, and the ancient hallways and corridors of Oxford's teem with ghosts and secret societies. I love a good Gothic Victorian read. Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I've heard this one is phenomenal. I believe this is an adult standalone. 2 graduate students must set aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. House of Hearts by Skyla Arndt. Solving her best friend's murder means infiltrating a secret society, resisting a forbidden love, and running from a vengeful ghost. I love the cover for this one. It looks so good. The Book of Autumn by Molly O'Sullivan. Look how beautiful this is. This is a debut novel about ambition, privilege, with a second chance romance in an ancient magic set in an enchanted school tucked among the red mesas of the New Mexico desert, where a formidable pair of magicians are summoned to pursue an alleged killer. Sounds like a must-read. When We Were Monsters by Jennifer Niven. This is a simmering psychological thriller about a dead teacher at an elite boarding school and the students who had every reason to want her gone. Sounds good. This could also go in the thriller category. The Ordeals by Rachel Greenlaw. I really like her writing style. So this is a lush, atmospheric romantasy, and an illusionist competes in a series of deadly trials for a spot at an elite magical college. That is, if another hopeful doesn't kill her first. I love a good competition. Tenderly I Am Devoured by Lindell Clipstone. This is a moody gothic romantasy in which a young woman must bind herself to a dangerous chthonic demon with the help of the son of a rival family to save her family's legacy and herself from ruin after being expelled from a prestigious boarding school. Okay, next we're going to the vampire category. We have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by Victoria Schwab, one of my most anticipated books of the year. I know this is following 3 women over the course of many decades. I believe they come in contact with like the same vampire woman and it kind of ties all the stories together. It's giving me a little bit of like Addie LaRue, The Familiar type vibes. I'm not sure though because I haven't read it. I know it's queer, I know it's adult, and I know I'm excited for it. We have Of Monsters and Mainframes. This one can also go in the monster category. So this is set on a spaceship and there are vampires on board, or Dracula or something. It's supposed to be like wild and fun. It's a sci-fi book, which I feel like is exceptionally rare for a vampire book, so it sounds really cool. We have Lightfall by Ed Crocker. This is the first in a trilogy. An epic fantasy of vampires, werewolves, and sorcerers. No humans here, just immortals, their politics, their feuds, and their long buried secrets. Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. I think this one is more werewolf, but usually where there's werewolves, there's vampires. We're following 18-year-old Mira Owens, and we're set in Kansas. There has been a local legend that werewolves traveled to their small Midwest town to protect the locals from vampires, but Mira never believed in fairy tales. Bitten by Jordan Stephanie Gray. A teenage girl must survive ruthless werewolves, a glittering court, deadly politics, and exact her revenge on the monsters who destroyed her. Usually I feel like the werewolves are not the bad guys, so this sounds very cool. We have The Uninvited by Nancy Banks. This is a YA paranormal fantasy about vampires in the Paris underground, where a young woman's bohemian dream turns into a chilling nightmare. I mean, these books sound so good. All right, the next big category is Witches. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sengu Mandana. This one I'm really excited for now because I just finished the very Secret Society of Witches by her. I really loved it. I think this is part of the same world but following different characters. This is about a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. And then she starts like a inn. And her other book was cozy, just a tiny bit spicy, really sweet. So I'm assuming this will be very similar. Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the prequel to The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is an adult cozy fantasy. I loved the first one. one. It had romance, it was cozy, it had adventure. It was not a slow read either, which sometimes the cozy reads can be a little bit on the slow side. This is the prequel, which is about the sentient spider plant that is in the spell shop. I'm very, very excited for this one because I really love her writing style. A Spell to Wake the Dead by Nicole L'Esperance. Two teen girls must uncover dark occult secrets lurking in their Cape Cod town to solve a series of murders and save themselves from the same fate in this twisty, witchy thriller. Really loved Nicole L'Esperance's first book that I read, which was a Secret Garden retelling. It was so good and it was middle grade. This one I believe is young adult, so I'm really excited to read more from her. The Witches of Honeysuckle House by Liz Parker. Again, I read Liz Parker's Shadow Garden, I think 2 years ago. It was about a family of like witches that have gardens and their neighbors brew things, and there was a mystery, and I really loved it. So this is haunted by a curse that kills someone close to their family every 13 years. Two sisters must come together to break the spell and save what they hold most dear. I'm just really excited because I really liked the first one. It was like cozy and fun and interesting. The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk. You'll want to be one until you know their secrets. After Emily's father tragically dies, she is forced to live with the only family she has left, an aunt and grandmother in the heart of Savannah, Georgia, in a house as beautiful as it is mysterious. And there's like witchy magic, of course. Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is the sequel to Rewitched. I don't want to read the synopsis because I don't know if they tie together or not. First one I believe was like a witch in a cozy bookshop. It's got very fall vibes and they look so magical. The Weaver Bride by Lydia Gregovic. I actually have the arc for this one and I'm finishing it very soon. So this is a fantasy about a witch who must navigate a ruthless marriage competition and try not to fall in love along the way. So it's got like the Bachelor vibes, giving me a little bit of like Rose Bargain vibes as well. One of my favorite books this year. So it sounds so good. Violet Thistlethwaite is not a villain anymore. I'm currently reading this one. I also have an arc. It doesn't come out till December. It is so cute, you guys. Like, I'm slowly becoming obsessed. It is about this thorn witch that basically like destroys towns with like her garden magic, and one day this hero comes in and is like, hey, I'm not gonna kill you, but you gotta stop this. You gotta like start over and choose not to do this anymore. So she basically decides to not be a thorn witch anymore, kind of disguise herself and live like a quiet life, but she'll get like a little bit mad about things and her magic will kind of come out of her and she'll have to like stuff it back down because she's secretly a villain, but she'll have to hide it. And she wants to start this like plant apothecary shop, and there's this grumpy sunshine guy that she's renting from, and it is so fun. So cute. I'm really invested so far, so highly recommend this one. The Hearth Witch's Guide to Magic and Murder by Carrie Callaghan. Look how adorable this looks. For all intents and purposes, we are still blissfully separated from the mortals, but there may have been complications. When a rise in London's supernatural crime puts Fae society at risk of discovery, the Winter Council turns to an unlikely solution. Avery Hemlock, the changeling they sentenced to 500 years of nightmares. Inherently lacking social grace and missing approximately 2 centuries of world knowledge, Avery must find a way to assimilate and solve the case or lose her probationary freedom. I mean, could there be any more interesting synopsises? Like, I need them all. A Curious Kind of Magic by Mara Rutherford. This is a cozy fantasy about the teenage owner of a mostly fake magical curiosity shop and a girl cursed to turn everything she touches into magic. Precious. Witch Killer by Ashley Latimer. All I know about this one is a Hansel and Gretel retelling, and I love those, and that's kind of all I wanted to know. The cover looks really cool, so I'll be checking it out. Next, I was gonna do ghosts, but I only have one book for this category. I know a lot of the other ones have ghosts, but the other elements were more prominent, so that is Grey Flowers by Autumn Krause. This is a historical, romantic-y, gothic, spooky goodness. I'm going to rave about it in my like fall reading wrap up. I was on the street team. I got an arc. I was really nervous because I did a lot with the street team and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't like it? It is currently my favorite book of the year. I am obsessed. I love Autumn. She is a precious person and the book was so good. It is a Hamlet meets Anne Boleyn retelling. So we have all those royalty, 15th century royalty elements, and there is a enemies to lovers trope that is done in such a neat way. There are these grave flowers that are like sentient flowers that have different personalities and do different things that you learn about. I'm gonna go on and on about this one like very soon. Please check it out. It is so good if you like gothic, spooky, romantic books. It's not spicy, it's young adult, but very romantic and angsty and really, really fun. I loved it. Next, we have a haunted house section. There's only a few that I have on here. So we have The House of Quiet by Kirsten White. This one has like experiments that are done on kids that give them these dangerous powers, and they have to go into this house to find a way to heal. But when our main character gets there, it is like not what she thinks it is. And so it's giving kind of like X-Men with spooky vibes, and it sounds so good. We have Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This is an adult standalone. A woman must confront the demons of her past when she attempts to fix up her childhood home. It's a devilishly clever take on a haunted house. So the house is like possessed. I think our character was possibly like an ex-beauty queen or something like that, and she's like a little bit more on the vain side and has to confront the societal standards put on her while like dealing with this messed up house as well. It's supposed to be like feminist and informative, but also spooky and funny. The House of Saphir by Marissa Meyer. I know this is a Bluebeard retelling. We're following Mallory Fontaine, and she is a fraud. Though she comes from a long line of witches, the only magic she possesses is the ability to see ghosts, which is rarely as useful as one might think. She and her sister have maintained the family business, eking out a paltry living by selling bogus spells to gullible buyers and conducting tours in this infamous mansion where the first of the Saphir murders take place. Like, it sounds so cool. Marissa is currently my favorite author just because I've enjoyed almost all of her books, and it just sounds like it's gonna be so fun. Okay, then lastly, I wasn't sure where to put a lot of these. I could have done like a spooky forest category, which is where a lot of these are gonna fall, but we're just putting them here. So we have A Land So Wide by Erin A. Craig. Again, I got the ARC for this one. Erin A. Craig is one of my favorite authors. I was very excited for this one because it's her adult debut. This one has like a village vibe. Town has these warding stones to protect them from the bright eyes, which are like these monsters in the woods. But the younger generation doesn't know if that's even real. Our main character has to do this like marriage game to get her husband, and then things kind of go crazy. I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of like traveling in the woods. There's a lot of fantasy elements. There's some romance. It is one of the most unique books I have ever read. I will say my only complaint was that it did kind of feel like two separate books. Like the first book, we take place so much in the village, and it was really interesting. The second part, we're taking place mostly in the woods. I think that would bother some people, but I think it will help you if you know that going in. But I liked it because it was just so unique, and I love her writing style. In Embroidery of Souls by Ruby Martinez. So Jade can manipulate souls with the tug of a thread. It's up to her and a boy with a soul as bright as the universe to stop a creature on the loose before it claims its next victim. This is a Mexican and German inspired romantasy. Girl Walks into the Forest by Madeline Rue, another author that I really love. I think this is gonna have loose midsummer vibes. It's got Slavic folklore, got a young girl being called upon by a count to leave her bleak village, be married and sent to this like dangerous castle, and she like barely makes it to the castle or something like that. There's like dangerous things in the woods. It sounds so good. Dream by Shadows by Logan Carley. This is a Labyrinth meets Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I've heard it's like gothic and spooky as well. It's in a deadly dream world and a shadow cursed girl who must venture into its depths to save her family while she starts to fall in love with the Prince of Darkness. Perfect. A Dark Forgetting by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is an epic love story about a magical girl, the boy she left behind, and a deadly curse. Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I read this one for Retoldathon, which is my retelling themed readathon. It's her new book for this year. This is a Snow White retelling. I loved this so much. It was so incredibly good. I can't remember what decade or year this is set in. I want to say like the 1800s. I could be wrong. But our main character is working with poisons and trying to find cures for them, and she is summoned by the king to come to the castle because his daughter is sick, and he thinks that she's being poisoned because his other daughter had died mysteriously. And so she is summoned there to kind of watch his daughter and see if anything could possibly be poisoning her. It is so good, you guys. She has like a pet snake. There's so many Snow White elements. There's magic and romance and lots of humor in the best way. Like our main character is in her late 30s. She's very funny and witty. There's some romance in here, and learning about the poisons and the plants and all of it's just so interesting. I really enjoyed it. The Secret Market of the Dead by Giovanni De Feo. This is an Italian-inspired gothic historical fantasy in which a young woman competing with her twin brother to inherit the family forge finds her power in the nocturnal world that lurks beneath her own. Love. Okay, you guys, I know that was super long. I tried not to go too deep into all the different synopsises, so hit me up with some kind of spooky emoji if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. Let me know how big your TBR is now, because even while I was like rereading some of the synopsis, I'm like, oh, I have to get that one. Oh, I can't forget about that one. So hopefully we can cram as many in as we can during spooky season and outside of spooky season. Let me know if there's any really cool ones that I missed down below in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl, as I post a lot of recommendations on there as well, and updates while I'm reading and things like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time on The Bright Side.